Yo guys, welcome to the video. It's your boy DK here. We've got another video on the YouTube. We're just gonna be doing a little match analysis on three pros. More specifically, we're gonna be looking at Anders and how he fared against two pros. Just gonna be discussing uh attacking, defending, mistakes, taking advantage of the RNG, the use of set plays, recycling the ball, and being progressive in possession, more specifically. And yeah, just throughout the video, we're just going to be like looking at specific parts within the video and whatnot, just talking about it basically, just to give an understanding of yeah, what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right, etc. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and yeah, let's get into it. Unfortunately, we can't show you specific, can't go through the lineups and whatnot because the Futchamps setting, well, channel doesn't allow you to see the types of players they're using per se. But from our understanding of what cards are in the game, you can take a guess of what he'll be using as he's a pro also. So yeah, as you can see, he's gonna start fast. The direct straight into it. The bridge. Yeah, just tries to play around with it. He just loses the ball, I think. And just yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say the best of starts, but yeah, he tried. Obviously, tried to like start positive, should I say, by going forward and whatnot. But it's also a good thing to try do because I think that when the game's playing like in intervals, or the way the game works is from kickoff and that, it's always a viable option. No matter who you play against in it. So yeah, yeah, little combinations work so far. Nice little ball roll sweep turn. And this is just good attacking. And the Lacapetas, good goal, it's good strike. So he's 1-0 up already. Um, yeah, and that's one thing. Just keep possession of the ball in the early stages. Try not to give it away, and obviously you're likely to get a goal. Um, as you can see from his opponent, you can see that he's trying to like build passage or play. Obviously Anderson is an aggressive defender, and he likes to like put players on under pressure a lot as opposed to like sitting back. Which obviously has its benefits for the most part, but like sometimes it can catch him out. You know, yeah, he's just getting. Yeah, he could play out wide. Yeah, that's what he does. Normally the ball down the line is obviously more common than that, but just for the whole build up, yeah, I think he could have carried on going there with Mbappe, but he decided to go back on himself and play it wide. It's a bit strange, but yeah. Um, it's a good goal. And yeah, people really don't take advantage of set pieces because it's one of the easiest ways to score goals, which I found myself as well, especially when the game's tight at the start. Um, yeah, so far I wouldn't say his opponent's made a lot of mistakes, to be honest, but we'll probably get into it a bit later. Um, yeah, Anders was quite dominant at the start. Just obviously just looks. Yeah, he just got the goals, whatnot. But yeah, poor defending, I guess. And yeah, I think just it was poor defending. He moved his defenders out too quickly, and I think obviously I've already gone through this game as well. So, and this is a common theme that you will see in this and the next game. But yeah, we'll get into it a bit more. Yeah, nice little build up from his opponent. Bad pass there. Don't know what he was trying to do. Yeah, just needs to retain the ball. Nice little drag back down the line. And yeah, that ball always down the line is always on. You should always look for it because it helps you stretch out the pitch as well. Maybe he could have gone in there much earlier than what he did. This is a nice goal, man. Nice goal. Nice little combination. Just a bit patient. Didn't try to force the way in, but he ended up getting the space, and then pass. When you do the 1-2s, even though your player's gonna knows what he's doing, it's still not. You can't move faster than the ball, as they say in football. So yeah, it's a great goal there. It's a good block by Vieira. Obviously, he's most likely using prime moments Vieira. Obviously, the team of the season versions. Expect all these players to all these pros and whatnot to be using the most higher tier versions of these players. Especially at this stage of the game. So nice through ball there. I think he could have chipped him. I think he made a hash of this mistake, and I think this was one of the things that came back to bit him in the end. Yeah, a through ball, and yeah, like we said about the through balls in this game, it's just, you know, that's a that save's ridiculous. Keeper bailed him out of that one still. Nice little block there by Dembele. Yeah, he could play this out. Poor pass. Maybe he could have went into midfield first. Yeah, he just got a ball roll. Yeah, maybe ball roll the other way, went back to keeper. Another good save. So yeah, in terms of, I wouldn't say he's rattled a bit, but he's just you know, not been able to build a nice little passage in terms of to retain the ball and whatnot. But he has defended a lot of these little things, these little instances well, I guess. So yeah, he's brought the keeper out. Yeah, can't remember what he does with the ball here. There, I just would have done, yeah, pass it down the line and then obviously continue to run. I would have personally went inside to the midfielder because that option was on. And yeah, obviously this is the right play, but I don't know how Ronaldo's missed that. Yeah, I don't know how he's missed that. You know, goes short for the goal kick. Nice play, decent. Is he gonna play inside? See, there I would have played inside early, but that's just me. I don't know why the pass went there, but you know, that's just the way the game works. It's just strange. He's got a bit lucky there, I would say. Nice ball inside, or four ball inside, should I say? Well, it was the right idea, I suppose. Yeah, and like I said, just the balls down the line is, you know, this is where, you know, you stretch the defenders. I think he could have carried on holding the ball. Remember, he's 3-1 up. You know, I think it's a lot of this game was also game management. I think obviously he went up. He knows he's better than the person. Not got cocky and that, but because obviously he is better than the guy. But you know, it's also trying to, you know, not take the piss out of your opponents, and also yeah, just managing the game better. You know, he's playing gung ho as if like he's chasing a goal, and I think that's one thing that did outdo him in both of these games. And there's obviously this ball inside. This is just, you know, patient and got a bit lucky there to fortune to come back to him. Yeah, man. Yeah. So far, you know, he obviously he's dominated. Well, not dominated, but obviously he's got the goals and whatnot. Nobody's really dominant in this game. This one, yeah, ball roll scoop, yeah, straight across the goal, yeah. And yeah, man, just by keeping the ball instead of trying to force it to go forward, which is what he did. I wouldn't say he forced it, but you know, he just played straight what was in front of him. Like I said, you can do this types of thing, but like he was free to work, man. You just, you know, just try to, like, especially when you have 2-goal leads. A 2-goal lead can be them 2-goal leads can be kind of dangerous for you because another goal scored and all of a sudden you're panicking. And right now he went from a pretty much comfortable position and whatnot to an unfavourable position. So yeah, he's won the ball again. There, obviously he's got a nice little combination play. Maybe he could have like stopped being so direct. He's trying to take on his defenders like too much, especially when there's no space to do it. You know, and I think, like I said, that these are things in the games that definitely, you know, hindered him or stopped him from obviously getting the dub in both of these games. Obviously, I was really spoiled it, but you know what I mean. There, maybe, yeah, he got the finish in the end, but I think he could have hit that first time. You know, obviously that's team of the season Mbappe, so you know he's got the 99 finishing and like obviously higher shooting. So, like, yeah, I definitely think he could have hit it first time. You know, because some people might have moved their keeper and whatnot, and he won't be able to even get a touch in most cases. Yeah, I just think a lot of the issues that he was having, he was moving his defenders too much, and he wasn't getting his midfielders back quick enough. Obviously, it's a lot difficult on this game to drag your midfielders to protect your defenders, and that more so than previous games. But I still think this is something that, you know, he was relying on. He was relying a lot on his like centre halves. You know, to obviously do their jobs and whatnot, as opposed to, you know, letting the midfielders take on the bulk of the work, which is what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Yeah, he's dealt with that one well. Pass was a bit rubbish, but he's, you know, he's got it in the end. There, he could have put R1 to come short for the ball. I don't know why I don't think he should have played that pass. I think he should have slowed down play, and instead of going so fast. Because like I said, he's got the lead. He just needs to build some level of dominance in the game. Obviously, yeah, he's through now. It's a good finish. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, obviously, like, play styles can vary and whatnot, but well, everyone's play style varies and whatnot. I personally just like, when you get to a certain point in time, you want to keep the ball. You obviously, you try to play the best match all the time. By doing the right stuff all the time, as opposed to just doing it when you just feel like it. You have to do it you have to constantly do these things. Especially that, and that's what separates a lot of the pros, or like the top pros, like the huge gorillas and whatnot. They always do they're always making the right decisions, all constantly, all the time, not just relying on the fact that they're highly skilled players and that just do the unexpected there. And I think, yeah, obviously his two centre backs he's using Maldini and Vieira, and obviously that, on paper it looks like a good partnership, but I don't know what he was doing here, and he was doing some weird stuff like this in the game. I don't really need to tell you what that is weird, but yeah. I think in this game also his centre backs let him down. I think because he's used to obviously moving defenders around. I think had he gone with maybe like the fullbacks at centre back, maybe he could have done like gone a bit closer to the meta, would have been more successful than him. Obviously, people have used Vieira as a centre half and that, but with all these new cards that's come out, and the defensive awareness, like for example, Vieira's defensive awareness is not even. You would think that it's top tier, but it's not really, because there's a lot of team of the seasons with this type of defensive awareness, and even with a shadow or whatever you put on him, he's still never gonna get more than 95 defensive awareness. And like I said, obviously his defender stats are good. He's got the right work rates and stuff like that. Yeah, like his agility and balance isn't too bad as well, but using more agile, well, obviously the fullbacks obviously have that advantage, and like I think Neil Guides was talking about it, how obviously, well, everyone knows that the fullbacks and centre back is the meta and whatnot, but obviously he said from the get-go, like, agility and balance is really important, hence why people might have gone for Wan-Bissaka, even Zambrotta to an extent, over some of these players, even playing like Carlos Alberto at centre half, because he's not as stiff as Maldini and Vieira is, isn't it? And obviously people have been playing Theo Hernandez and Theo Hernandez, Kyle Walker. I think that one should have been a goal. But and Mbabu, people have been using these. Maybe he didn't do the SBCs and whatnot. But obviously it's difficult to fit players on camera also. But yeah, as I was saying, I think he's moving a lot of his players out of position and stuff like that. And especially when you've got players with low agility, it's difficult to recover. And you're seeing there, like for example, 99 defenders not going to save you from these types of things, and it's more the agility and balance that helps you out a lot more. So yeah, like game management also, I think that was a big part of the game that he suffered with. And yeah, I said, just using the centre backs too much. I think that's what let him down a lot during the game. So yeah, obviously, like I said, forcing the issue, not trying to, slow play down and speed it up. Obviously, in the right sort of intervals in the game. I think, and that's what he did in both of these games more specifically. But yeah. I wouldn't say it's rookie mistakes, but it's obviously he's played for a lot of the metas and whatnot. And everyone knows that when you're controlling your centre backs, you need to be really careful. And obviously, yeah, you just need to be really careful in terms of when you're moving them and whatnot. Because it is difficult to get them back in position and that. And a lot of his goals have come from him moving his centre backs in the wrong areas. Obviously, giving the ball away is where the problem has started. Obviously through bad game management, I'd say. just in terms of trying to keep the ball, knowing you got your goals. But like I said, there's always like with these like in these high skilled games, you know, you try to play your best games on FIFA and stuff like that. Obviously, when you're playing against players that you probably could assume are gold and whatnot, it's a bit different than that. You know, you can obviously not be as disciplined, but like I said, once you get to a higher elo, this is how you get the go from. This is how you get the elite ones, the elite twos, and whatnot, is by doing the right stuff all the time. And you know, like this, you know, just not trying to keep the ball. He was winning. You know, 6-5 in the 87th minute. You know, from a game he was winning like 6-3, or 5-3 should I say. It was up, you know, he's up by a couple of goals and that, but like just through bad game management, now he has to go into extra time. You know, and this whole thing could have been avoided just had he been, yeah, just had he managed the game a lot better. You know, because he's clearly better than this guy, but you know, obviously on a skill sense, he's clearly better than the guy, but you know, game management is such a massive part of FIFA, especially this year, where the RNG is a lot higher than it's been in previous years. And yeah, man, just maybe he could have defended that a bit better. You know, a lot of bad passes. Like I said, just trying to rush and his opponent. Like, to be fair, has, you know, been. I'll say that he's done he's done a lot of the right things. Like, I wouldn't say he's that good, but like obviously in comparison to Anders and whatnot, but he's definitely tried to make yeah, he tried to make the right passes. Obviously here he's not as good in that, but when the ball breaks down here, especially like I said with Anders not trying to play, you know, he's just trying to do it off of individual brilliance. Obviously he knows his players got the 5-star skills. He can pretty much, you know, dribble through most man. Yeah, he knows this, innit? But at the same time, that is not what is required at all the time. You know what I mean? Like them individual brilliances. Like, you don't want to be winning games just purely off of individual brilliance. Is what I'm trying to get out basically. That's a bad pass. He could have carried on playing or carried on driving the ball. Another bad passing option there. But yeah. And yeah, just dragging. Look, now his players is all out of position. Like, his Vieira is so high. Even if he does win this ball, you know, all it takes is one turn out of trouble, and his centre back is now missing. You know, look, massive gap, through ball, and I think this is what he was doing the entire game. Obviously, he gets bailed out. The keeper's obviously, you know, had a blinder for him as well. But yeah, man, a lot of these problems he's caused himself just through bad game management, and you know, like I said, moving those defenders, man. And it really is the difference in this higher level of FIFA. Like, it really is the difference. You know, not saying to sit there and abuse AI defending. I'm not saying that entirely, but I'm just saying that trying to minimize you moving your centre halves, because especially when you're playing with out and out centre backs, is one thing I find it's a lot more difficult to. Well, it is a more difficult to recover because their agility and balance isn't great. You know. So yeah, man, just understanding these little things. Although he does understand it, but you know, clearly everyone needs a reminder in it, because he's playing. I've watched him for like not a few times, but I watched him enough to know that he's just not playing in the right way. You know, that's gonna help him. You know, get the 30-0. You know, he cost himself a 30-0 this week, because some of these losses, like I said, these opponents are not even better than him like that. You know, but they definitely just had a better approach to the game than he did.
Well, it's really important the players try and recognise this noise in the ground and use that to get an equaliser.
Not getting it forward, but they need an equaliser. This could level it.
This is unlucky, I think. I think this whole bit is a bit unlucky. You know, yeah, I think that's just a bit unlucky there. Yeah. One thing I think that changes that he probably needs to make, you know, obviously we can get them to him, but I'll just have to say now, just obviously maybe he could replace Ronaldo with maybe Neymar, um, just because I think that a lot of the stuff that he's trying, not that Ronaldo can't do it, but like his balance really affects him, especially when you're coming up against some of the people that they're playing centre back, you know, that have higher balance than him and the same level of sprint speed, strength, and agility, and that, you know, maybe you got a Neymar who is has really high agility, can be more useful for him. And I remember when he used to use Neymar at the start as well. But yeah, like I said, this game, you know, he didn't really do himself any favors. You know, like I said, this guy was all right that he was playing. No, he's all right because obviously these are really high level players, but um, he definitely cost himself this game, man. And just like I said, through just lack of game management, you know. But yeah, we're gonna get into the next video as well. This is another pro that he played. So obviously this was this is his first loss this weekend and whatnot. And then this is you know, gonna be the next loss. And as you know, we'll see when obviously when the game starts. But yeah, I think definitely getting a Neymar in, probably putting some fullbacks in, or you know, getting them to play centre mid and that. You know, I don't know how he feels about off-cam players, but you know, yeah. But as you can see, I feel like this game, the start of this game, he was trying to rectify errors that he made in the last game. You know, and I think his head was gone. I wouldn't say his head was completely gone, but like he definitely was affected by the loss in the last game. You could see his frustration, hence why he's just trying to rush it. And I think, like I said, you know, like look, just moving the players out of, like, you know, moving the players out of key positions they should be in. Yeah, you got a lucky, well, not lucky there. That was a bad pass by his opponent. You know, but yeah, I think with his midfield too, although Hullet is an attacking is more of an attacking central midfielder and whatnot. I felt like the partnership he was playing against, obviously, and this comes from just bad, like, don't know why he brought his keeper out. There was still a lot of like time to travel with the ball there, you know. And like I said, he's just making a lot of mistakes. Here, he's gonna probably get the goal. I think he gets a goal here, you know. But you're not always gonna get these types of things, like these types of instances in the game, you know. But obviously, it definitely is on. Like I said, whenever the ball is restarts, the ability to score is just so much easier. I don't know why it's like that, but it just generally isn't on the game, innit? And obviously in football, when you score, it's probably when you're most vulnerable in it. So yeah, this is decent play though. But there, the final ball's just lacking. Maybe he could have done like a it's like a 5-star skill. I think it's like an L2 fake shot, and you just carry on running. He could have done that there. Obviously he's watching the ball. I've not scored a corner. I don't remember the last time I scored from a corner in this game. Yeah, this I just, yeah, don't know what he was doing there. He should have tried, obviously, except that he's using Maldini, try to find a better player than, you know, bring it back in defence. There, he's just trying to thread the eye through the needle, and I think the run's just not on. And like I said, he's moving his players out of the way, moving his centre halves too much. And you know, this is where he's just conceding stupid goals, man. Stupid goals, and he didn't really need to move his defenders like that specifically. Although yeah, there was a lot of space to run in behind, but it's easier, you know, if you're not, like, for some reason it's easier when the players are not having to, or when you're not controlling your players, and that to just move them last minute, or like I said, go 1v1 with them, as a not 1v1, but like go just not move them when the pass is made, because I think that's when it's easier for like the pass to go through, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, this opponent wasn't too bad, to be fair. That pass wasn't good, but I think his midfield, the way he set up his team, his midfield is really, like, they really have a lot more combinations than his Hullet and Goretzka have in the game. Like, yeah, Ronaldo's touch, I don't know, man. It's a bit weird. Like, the last 2 games I've seen it, like, and it's just not been. It's definitely, I wouldn't say it's cost him, but yeah, like I said, this bad defensive movement. Like, he's moving his players in areas he shouldn't. Obviously, he doesn't score here, but you know, like I said, he keeps making the same mistakes that he was doing in the last game. Obviously, maybe it's because he's, you know, frustrated, you know, which is perfectly understandable. But you know,
Well, not quite
there's
what he wants
also
to do
like
with the
trying
pass.
to, you know, not remove your emotions from the game, but like it is, yeah, you have to at some degree do that because, you know, it stops you from making like errors, you know, like this,
They've
for
won themselves
example,
a corner and a chance
like, you
perhaps
know,
to add an
overcommitting
additional
defenders
goal
and
for
whatnot.
security. And taken short.
Here, I just think his controller switched off and he just concedes.
Real chance.
You know,
And a
there's nothing really to
goal
talk
to
about.
really bolster
Um,
things for them. Two in front. No shortage of goals in this match. 3-1.
but yeah, he's just trying to kick off thing a bit, not too much, because like I said, it's definitely on. But yeah, man. Obviously,
Vieira wins
like,
back
you know,
possession.
obviously Vieira is good. I'm not
Delicious
saying
bit
that
of
Vieira
skill.
and Maldini is not great
And
because
return to
obviously
Ronaldo.
Maldini
And that's
is
to keep
probably
it
one
going.
has probably the highest base defensive stats in the game. But he just definitely doesn't fit the meta of this game.
Mbappe.
I'm not even exaggerating, you know, like, and I don't find them difficult to defend against. Like,
And in!
um,
Oh, yes!
you
It's
know, I
that
don't really
minute
find them as
moment to
difficult to defend
predict.
against as
They
opposed to
couldn't
playing
let the
against an
goal.
Mbabu, um,
Well,
you know,
neutrals are getting their money's
Mbabu.
worth. 3-2 in
Who
this
else is
match.
there? Raquel Walker and all these other guys, you know, and Wan-Bissaka, and I find those guys a lot more difficult to play
Just
against.
cutting off the
And yeah,
supply.
like I said, he just his passing was decisions not really good.
Ronaldo.
There, he could have turned in with
Well,
Ronaldo
keep
as
the
opposed to
basket
making the pass
defending.
back, but you know, um, yeah.
Dembele.
Here, Coutinho's got some pace I've never seen him before because I
Could
actually
be a
have
threat
him.
when all is said and done.
There,
Well, it doesn't
he
go
got
well
lucky
when
there,
it's
but
a
he
free
could have
kick
called
given.
Bamba short for a pass. He didn't have to send him all the way on the long run. Um,
Poor
there, he could have
pass
went into
wasn't the
Bamba
deal
as opposed to
breaker.
going in straight into Ronaldo.
Joshua Kimmich. Here
Yeah,
is
look,
Nani. Well, it's a poor tackle. Promising attack this. De Jong. It's there for him.
got lucky
And the
there,
ball
but
is loose. In it goes.
yeah, man,
And it's a
this
through
is,
kick. And the keeper feels hung out to dry.
yeah, I just think he's just being punished because he has in this game. I think it was just he was punished a lot just because he had normal centre backs, not normal centre backs, but you know, yeah.
Kimmich.
It's just like I said, it's just a lot more difficult
On to
to um to defend with normal centre backs in this game. Like fullbacks are so they're just so good on the game that, you know, it's the pace, it's the base pace that they have, as well as the agility and the balance in it, which is just I don't know why. Like I said, but it's just very important in this game. You know, uh,
Joao Cancelo. On to Atal.
yeah, this guy, like I said, he definitely is a.
Defensive Brazilians to
Obviously, I don't
shut
know
them
what he was
down.
trying. Maybe he thought he could make that pass there, but his combinations were better in this game than Anders.
And he takes it away.
Personally, I think so. Anyway, his combinations was just much better.
Yusuf
Obviously, he had a
Atal.
more set pattern play. Obviously, Anders is a better individual player.
Well, that is a defender's job
Um,
to come to
you
the
know,
rescue.
but like I
Good
said,
looking
there's
move.
some games where you need to combine. Um,
Cristiano Ronaldo.
you know,
Outdoing his
this is a
opponent.
good goal. You need to
It's a
combine, you know,
goal!
obviously your
Joao
individual brilliance with
Cancelo
obviously, you
and
know,
keep them home
some
safely.
level of structure in it.
Well,
Even if it is FIFA and whatnot, there's
looking
still a
to
lot of
challenge a
structure.
high-scoring contest.
Um,
This
that
has
is,
been
well,
the game
there's a
for
lot of
you.
players, you know, that
Well, keeping
because
hold of
they're
the
really
ball is
organized in the
what's on
way
the
that they
mind.
play. They don't really need to be as good
Alphonso
individually when
Davies
it comes to doing the skills and whatnot. You know,
and Kimmich.
especially in a game where AI input is so heavy.
On to De Jong. There to win it back.
Yes, I don't think he needed to send Ronaldo on the run there. I think he, like I said, try to just bring.
Walker.
A lot of the time, he doesn't bring other players, and he's
Nani.
not bringing other players into the game as much as he should.
And Nani with it. The
This is just
counter.
bad player switching.
And
Yeah,
then
that was again
a
just bad
goal
player
to
switching, and it's
confirm.
just a common
Just
theme
need to keep
that
them
we see throughout the
concentration.
whole video. You know,
Not a scoreline we see all that often.
obviously he's vulnerable to the kickoff, but yeah. Oh,
Ronaldo.
maybe he could have.
And
Yeah, maybe he could have carried on going with Mbappe there. But that's a, like I said, that's just a split second decision. It's either you make a make or break. And it wasn't really that much of an opportunity missed because, like I said, most people would, 99% of people would have definitely made the pass that he did. Um,
Goretzka. Here's Ronaldo. Bamba.
yeah, no,
Dembele.
this game, if you had Neymar, there's certain things that obviously Ronaldo's great on this game, but like there's certain areas and especially the players like this type of scenario that he's in, Neymar just thrives in it, like you know.
Nani. And he's
And
only
this one, like I said, man, just
Well, when he's in this
you
sort of
know,
mood, he's absolutely unstoppable.
what
What
can
a
you say, man? What can you say? Just impatient in the build up. Um, yeah,
wonderful bit
he's
of
just trying to force his way through, like I said, and he's not really playing.
and they continue to advance and a lot of
Oh shit,
options
my
here.
control, my bad, my controller died.
Can he make it count?
It's gonna probably die again. Bear with me 1 second. If
Is
it
he
does,
staring him in the face? He knew he had
let
to
me
make
just
that goal
stop
count.
and I'll start it again. Apologies guys. Yeah, my controller just died. But yeah,
Well, it's come down to the final 20 minutes here.
yeah, it's turned it kind of into a scrappy match at last. So obviously he's 3 goals up.
Challenge and a throw-in
So
coming up.
I could only imagine him not being as effective, playing as effectively
Good strong
as
tackle.
possible.
Throw-in forthcoming.
You know,
Ronaldo. Good idea, that particular move, but not to be. And killing
decent
them
defending
with it.
there.
Goretzka. Onto Ronaldo. It's there for him.
It's a
And
good
he's
finish there, man.
and made it a hat-trick.
It's a good finish
Absolutely
there.
unplayable today. What a performance.
That he just got unlucky with that one. That's just annoying. It's just one of the stupid things that the game does. Like I said, this ball,
Them up here.
even not even in between. He got lucky here, because he could have
Fortunate with
ball
that
rolled
to
it and
finish.
finessed it near post.
Oh, he's
It's a
got to
weird
be
angle,
trying
but
so
sometimes it
hard,
actually does
but
work.
unfortunately he's
Like
gone
I've
too
tried it, but
far
I've
as
actually
well.
tried it.
Vieira.
You know, obviously I think I used the left footer though, but yeah,
Well, that's a well-timed
this
pass.
is a good ball.
Mbappe. A
There.
chance to eat into their lead. What a
Oh,
vital
maybe he
bit
could
of
have
it.
went back to Dembele there, or Dembele could have taken responsibility of that ball, meaning that obviously he just would have been the one that's taking on the player as opposed to playing it back to Mbappe.
Dembele.
There,
And
his
Dembele
player
gives
wasn't
it
in the
away.
right. His body position was all wrong
There'll
when
be
he
a
made
chance
this
to
pass,
break
and this is
it
what I'm
up.
talking about. He's just moving. He gets lucky
Looked
here
highly promising,
again,
but it came
but
to
yeah,
nothing
man,
in the end.
he's been getting lucky like sometimes,
And
but
here's Dembele.
other time he hasn't. This
Could
is
pull one
decent.
back here.
Ball roll
It
inside.
goes!
It's
It's
really
gone!
tight. Like it looks like sometimes when you're watching these guys play and you see how close that they get to the defenders while doing these same things, and it's just having that trust that you're able to
Dembele.
control the ball.
Onto De
And
Jong.
obviously this is gonna get like that.
Might
Obviously,
very
as
well
the
have the
player stats
opportunity here.
get
20
higher,
minutes to go. And just
obviously as new
one
cards get released and
accountable.
that sort of ability to do these types of things
Will he? Routine, really.
is yeah. I think that's something that he could have done in the first half. I think he just with his centre back, he's trying to you know
Alphonso Davies.
outguess the opponent, and like I said, manual defending is not really as rewarding as it should be on this game. So
Just listen to the crowd
a
getting
tip
into
one
their
you could
team.
learn is like he did in that first thing, just
Excellent
not don't
positioning,
commit.
but by Mbappe.
Obviously that's a nice goal, and that was literally in 3 passes from out wide. But sometimes, like I say, like I always say, play with the space that the game gives you,
It's a
or
kaleidoscope
whatever
of
space you're
shifting
given with.
emotions.
He was literally given a free like passage down the line, and that's like
It's
one of the
going to be
first times he's
stoppage
actually
time, but
used
only the 1
the
minute.
space in front of him.
Can they grab
Um,
the lead late on?
Here he should have maybe
Step
should have
up in
carried
the
on.
air.
That's just unlucky. That's
Oh,
really unlucky. That's just really unlucky. I can't lie because his keeper didn't even save that
Ronaldo.
properly.
Mbappe.
There, first time. He should have hit that first time.
Lightning fast
Maybe his
reflexes
player
to
was
put it
tired
into
or
the
something. I
hands.
don't know.
I thought it was going to be the winner, but hats off to the keeper.
Maybe a Berber spin cancelled there.
They cannot be separated here.
But yeah, man.
And so they
Um,
continue.
yeah, not a lot of players really understand the idea of obviously playing with what you're given with. Um, and I wouldn't say that's like, obviously I was talking about taking advantage of RNG, not so much RNG in terms of just random stuff happening. For example, when your player just randomly tripped up over the ball, but obviously the way the game evolves a lot. It changes a lot. You know, you don't always come and play the same like type of way every single game. And it's just being, you know, adaptive or making the right decisions. You know, and like I said, when you're trying to solely rely off your individual ability, off of, you know, when you're going 1v1 with players and that, you know, it doesn't allow you to take advantage of that RNG. Yeah, it doesn't allow you to. And yeah, man, midfield just bypassed again, man. Obviously, midfield is not as strong as it has been, or the midfield is not as strong as it has been in previous FIFAs and stuff like that. But it's still really effective, you know, because like I said, if you talk about passing combinations, his Kimmich and his De Jong have definitely had a lot more um of the ball, like when it's not in an attacking motion. You know, when it just comes to controlling possession, recycling the ball. He definitely did that way more than Anders did in this game. This is a good goal. Nice little turn inside. Great finish, man. Yeah, this guy really played well. I can't lie. A lot of his goals, you know, played with what he was given. Obviously, that one's not really so much in terms of what I'm talking about, in terms of playing what you're given, in terms of using the space that's in front of you. But yeah. Maybe could have been a yellow card. Should have been a yellow card. Oh, you did get one. But yeah, man, I just think that, man, Vieira. I'm not saying this guy is outdated, but for the centre back position, his defensive awareness ain't high enough. And for certain things that he was trying to do, I fully understand what he's trying to do, but even he knows this. The game is just not like that this year, man. Like, it's just not like that this year, unfortunately. You know, because it's annoying, you know, because especially when I think this game is, the defensive stats of players has definitely been, this is probably the highest the defensive stats have been, you know, in FIFA. And then for you not to even, you know, allow you to even use the manual defending as much as possible, or you know, our benefit from the manual defending is a bit annoying, you know, but it is what it is. Yeah. There, you know, it gets crowded out there, takes too long to make pass. But there, another unforced error. You know.
Good pressure high up the pitch. Looking confident.
There, no, he should have hit that first time across the box. He's got 90. That Ronaldo, like he had an angle there, man. If he saved it, he saved it, innit? But I don't think he needed to take that extra touch in it, personally. Like, weak foot's not as it's not just that difficult to score on your weak foot this year, as it was last year, obviously. This one's not too bad, obviously. He limited the space in terms of turning and stuff like that. This is decent play. There, he should have hit earlier, but moves his keeper. Van der Sar's honestly the most annoying keeper in this game. But yeah. There, play it inside. Did set him. Fair enough. It's gone to run straight. Ball roll scoop, knew it. That's a great ball. Yeah. Well, like I said, play with what the game gives you. He definitely did that when he made that switch, you know. And yeah, just like I said, I just don't think he utilized that enough this game, and it just led to him just doing a lot of sort of individual dribbles and whatnot, as opposed to trying to retain possession, you know. Here, there's a nice little press there. there. 1-2. Oh, maybe.
This could square the game.
That's that save's ridiculous, bro. That save's ridiculous because bro, I don't know how he saved that, man.
And he saved them.
Because that was a certain goal, man. Well, yeah, man. That's the end of the gameplay. Like I said, you know, I think these opponents were more progressive in possession. They recycled the ball better, definitely. Um, yeah. And there's, you know, obviously they took advantage of the mistakes. In terms of Anders' gameplay, like I said, I think I'll just put this down to bad defending. Moving the centre backs around too much was one of his issues. Trying to force the issue as well was one of the things that, you know, had a negative impact on his overall game. Not using the width enough. I definitely think he didn't utilize the wide areas as much. You've got 5-star skillers, man. Like sometimes, like I said, if you use the pitch more, then you know you're gonna drag some of these players out. You know, yeah, you're gonna drag some of these players out, especially the high level players. They're not like the lowest tier or lower standard sort of players. They're actually hungry. They wanna, you know, win the ball back. You know, you get it. So I think also using that to your advantage when you're playing against the higher skilled ones is that, you know, not trying to, you know, rush the first goal all the time or trying to rush in it. Obviously, he scores a lot of goals in the games he plays, you know, but I think you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Yeah, just trying to obviously avoid, you know, just your general mistakes and whatnot. Yeah, like I said, not um, over complicating things, not over committing players as well. Player switching, I don't think it really helped him a lot. Maybe he was affected by gameplay this week. I don't know. Maybe that's one of the reasons why he was obviously not switching players quick enough, or you know, this defender wasn't as good. But yeah, I'd also put it down to his losses as well, just to poor game management, like I've said before. You know, if I was him, I'd like to look to get you know, probably maybe a Bruno in, or maybe a De Jong in the team, in the midfield. Um, you know, or obviously he likes to play two midfielders, but maybe some, because I think, yeah, or just another centre half involved, and definitely get Neymar or R9 in the game, definitely, or Cantona, and not because Cantona is better than Ronaldo, but how we trying to use him in terms of um no, maybe not Cantona, but like how we trying to use Ronaldo. I think that Neymar would be more suited to that role, um, because he's taken on a lot more difficult dribbles. And like I said, when you're coming up against Theo Hernandez, and then Barbie, who actually have 99 strength, near enough 99 strength, you know, and are more agile than so on. So I think going with a player like Neymar, who obviously has that high level agility, and he has the 5-star weak foot and skills that allows you to, just makes you more dangerous, I suppose. So yeah, maybe he should make those changes. You know, yeah, definitely should make those changes. Um, maybe use the Lacroqueta cancels a bit more. Utilize the ball down the line, or just playing the ball wider. Um, you know, I don't think he uses left mid and right mids as well as he should have during the game. Um, and yeah, I think that was mainly it. Obviously, the concerns were mainly with his defense, and I think obviously Ronaldo was great in some of those games, but I think that Neymar would have probably been more suited to, you know, those certain scenarios he was like coming against, especially in that last game. You saw he was around the edge of the D, or even a Pele or someone. He's around the edge of the D, but you know, his Ronaldo, like the way that he's built in game, he's a bit difficult to get into the tighter areas. You know, and like I said, the defenders are just much stronger than they were previously as well. So yeah, definitely looking to get one of those two, or like I said, a Moments R9 and whatnot. Maybe he don't really like his runs and whatnot. Maybe that's why he's not in the team already. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be the end of the video. Appreciate everyone that's watched this. You know, probably gonna try to do more of these types of, you know, analysis, maybe a bit shorter, because obviously this is like a 40-minute video and whatnot. You know, but yeah, man, I appreciate everyone that's, you know, stopped by, and yeah, remember to leave a like and comment. and subscribe as well if you like the content that I'm producing. And yeah, man, thanks for watching the video, and peace.